viewers, welcome to another exciting edition of the program. As you all know, it is all about festival, carnivals, tourism, and anything that has to do with the Nigerian people and culture. I am Ndila Mangai. Welcome back to this segment of the program. Here I have with me the Executive Secretary, National Institute for Cultural Orientation, who is by name Dr. BARCLEYS Ayakuruma. Alright, we'll be talking about crude oil, festival, and carnival. Which way Nigeria? While reading your article in a magazine about between crude oil and cultural festival, which way in Nigeria? It actually caught my attention, and then I felt it's high time Nigeria have another aspect of revenue, generating revenue, and that's what prompted this interview today. So maybe you could give us a brief talk on Nigerian economy today.
Okay, any person, even the blind man in Nigeria, knows that the economy is in a very bad state. And the article you are referring to was a presentation I did, I think, in 2012 in one of NICO's workshops. We have a series of workshops which we call repositioning culture workers for improved productivity. And that edition, we looked at cultural festivals and national development or economic development. And what I looked at, as you pointed out, was between crude oil and cultural festivals, which way Nigeria? And I remember I started that presentation with late Sonny Okosun's song, Which Way Nigeria, you know. Now, I felt Nigeria needed to look beyond crude oil and look at the direction of cultural festivals. That the crude oil will dry up is not something new. People have said that. Scientists, economists, and so on, they have pointed out the fact that one day the oil wells will dry up. Even if the oil wells are not drying up, other countries are also discovering oil. So the value of oil will continue to plummet. We are talking of something of 2012.
Yes.
And my position then was that we needed to look the way of cultural festivals, because these festivals are there with us. They are part of our own culture. They are part of our daily existence. And of course, we don't have to spend so much to develop them. It's what the people celebrate. And since it is part of the people, when you develop an aspect of a people's life that they can identify it, then the development index will, will be higher. Somehow, we are happy that, government is now talking seriously about diversifying the nation's economy. But then, the aspect of developing our cultural festivals will have to be taken seriously if we have to record some economic gains.
All right. So talking about the economy, what are those things that we feel when we focus on tourism, when we focus on festivals and carnivals? What are those possible things that could happen that will make the economy grow?
Yeah, you see, like I mentioned, these festivals are part of our own way of life, and they belong to the people, and the people organize it, And once these programs are organized, of course, the local economy will, will really improve. Let me give you an example. Calabar Carnival, anytime it is being organized, if you are going to Calabar, December, reservation long before then, you won't have any place. And people even turn their houses to, if you have a 3-bedroom flat, you consign yourself to one room and give out the 2 other rooms for commercial this thing. So you can just imagine if somebody from his own house, he can get money. You can just imagine those who are into transportation, those who are into the hotel business, who are into vendors and so on. All these persons will, register one form of gain or the other from the festival. So the value chain is there, and it's the people that will gain more from these very festivals. And of course, once people are better off from a festival, you see, ordinary conferences, major conferences that are organized, if you go around, you see the number of vendors. It could be books, it could be dresses, it could be food and drinks, even recharge cards. The market, as our people will say, it will be so high, and of course people will be happy and saying that these kind of things should go on every time. So, and you see, festivals bring us together. If you want to unite a people, you bring people together. That's why NAFES, for example, the National Festival for Arts and Culture, was conceptualized after the Civil War. Let us use this to bring people together. And that's why it's called Festival of National Unity, to bring people together. So the various ethnic problems, inter-religious, inter-tribal problems we have, by the time we have festivals of various dimensions, we use this one to bring ourselves together. Even if you read Things Fall Apart, you will see during the New Yam Festival, people who were quarreling, they started talking to themselves, because when they found themselves, standing next to each other. So we have a way of uniting ourselves during, with festivals. And of course, once people are united, of course, development starts. But if there is no unity, and there's no way any meaningful development can thrive. So we still believe that we can use festivals to develop. I said that culture is a vehicle that drives tourism. If we are organizing festivals in various parts of the country and Nigerians learn to go and be part of the other festival, that is when we will now attract international tourism. We can't talk about international tourism without, implanting, cultivating that culture in us as Nigerians. For us to be hospitable, we have to be involved in these festivals.
Okay. Apart from Calabar Carnival, what about other festivals in Nigeria?
Yeah, there are many festivals, depending on the scale, of celebration. We are aware that, River State, Port Harcourt has its own carnival. Lagos, you have a carnival. We have Nzemada in Nasarawa State. We have the Kwai in Benue. Incidentally, I've told, the last time I was there, I mentioned the fact that Kwai is an unexplored gold mine, because what we saw there was very, very amazing. And the challenge is for the state government to really sell it for other people. Just last year, Ogun State government conceptualized African Drums Festival, though it started as Nigerian Drums Festival, and coincidentally I represented the Honorable Minister, and seeing the amazing, performances and the prospect, I said it should be an African Drums Festival. And this year, the state governor, Senator Bikunle Amosu, rechristened it African Drums Festival. And if I recall rightly, over 20 states of the federation, attended that. So it's a challenge for the state government to make sure that this one will attract more state government, and of course, I think about 5 other, countries participated. So it has the prospect of drawing the whole world. How is Trinidad surviving?
Yes.
It's the Trinidad, Trinidad and Tobago. The carnival is what really drives the economy. They are not, spending state funds to organize it. And I believe all the state governments can come out with a unique, festival. The Arugungu Fishing Festival, at least I can proudly say we were able to have it, inscribed as one of the elements in the UNESCO representative list, on safeguarding of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Last year, November, December, we were in Addis Ababa. The inscription, the nomination had some issues, but I was there, and we were able to lobby, make inputs, and at the end of the day, it has been inscribed. And the challenge now is for the state government to make sure that the festival is really repositioned and it really draws international attention. So the opportunities are there, the festivals are there. It's for us to look at them, rebrand them.
The name EGGON means a good sense of hearing or perception ability. They call themselves EGGON and they are known by the Hausas as Madam Duse. The EGGON are divided into 3 major clans, and they are Anzo, Eholo, and EGGON Ero. It was the EGGON Cultural Day celebration, and here we'll bring you some of this event. We begin with the EGGON National Anthem.
Yes, My name is Francis Peter Ombugadu, and we invited people here today because we don't need to tell anybody that culture is our identity. Culture defines us. Culture tells the world who we are. All these artificial things we put on our body that are completely different from our culture, I don't know from where we got it. The Americans are very interested in our raw culture as a source of tourism. Britons are very interested in our culture as a source of tourism. So why will an American leave America, come to Nigeria and still find the same thing? It doesn't make a difference. Somebody will leave Britain, come to Nigeria and find the same thing, the same dressing, the same spoken English, the same parties, and the same. But our own culture gives them variety, gives them a difference. And so many of them are ready to spend their money here. When they have worked and made money, they want to go on holidays. They want to go to places they've never been to. They want to see things they have never seen, dressing they have never seen, kind of dance they have never seen before. This is what culture means. I read the history of Israel. One of the things that is keeping Israel is their language. They preserved their language. They never distorted it. Just few of them that were there up to this moment, that language is still there. And they have never distorted it. Language is a very strong element of culture. Now, in terms of documentary, if you don't write certain things or put on visual, how will the future generations see what you have done? And this is why we put together this magazine. We call it Egbaru Maegon. AIT says Kakaki. Kakaki is trumpet. So Egbaru is trumpet, announcing that something has happened and we need to know about it. What is that something? A cultural reorientation. People should value their culture. We should value our culture. God that brought us and put us in this culture is not a fool. In the Tower of Babel, when confusion set in, when people began to speak different languages, every language that is on earth today was spoken at that point. If I want to talk to this fellow now on something that I don't want everybody to know, I speak my language. Nobody will know what I have said. We should forget about our own, this importation of cultures and then embrace our own culture. If you look at this kind of dress, an American doesn't have it in his home. He will want to be looking at it over and over, and when he gets back, he will be speaking so wonderful things about this. He will ask you questions, and when they come here to see things like this, they spend money here. They will rent hotels. They will eat food here. They will change clothes here. They will move from one place to another. So that money is spent here. I'm sure that one will improve the economy. So culture itself is one strong element that we should look at it and then improve the economy. If we do so, we will be inviting other people to come here. Let there be a cultural celebration, every tribe in Nigeria.
AIT was honored at the event. Now we bring you the EGGON dance.